They don't appreciate the value of marriage. They don't appreciate what marriage actually stands for. Right? How many people do you see now that I'm married to my wife, but I have an open marriage?
Yeah,
that's not marriage. You're blacklisting something for having morals. That just sounds like a very wrong thing to do.
Well, Hollywood's a very dark industry.
Society nowadays is normalizing poor choices. Sugar all day. That's great. Mm-hmm. You don't need to exercise. Just consume TV all day long. But it's like somebody that says, no, I don't want to do that. I want to eat healthy. I want to read, and I want to exercise every day. No, dude, you're a nut. You're a psycho. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Burn Down. My name is Justin, a.k.a. The Dapper Cigar. This gentleman is Eric, a.k.a. Brother Cigar.
That's me. If
you're new to this channel, hit the like button and subscribe button. Hit that bell so you get notified. Check out our site. Check out the blueprint. Check out all the merch. He's wearing a t-shirt. I'm wearing a sweatshirt, which isn't out yet, but it will be. I'm also wearing a hat. We are actually trying. So I am I'm in the last third of the first blend, which was the blend 1114 was the blend number of our next cigar, the mild cigar. And Eric's trying the 1102.
It's the other blend that we have,
which is like a half a notch up from this cigar. And I will say that I'm entering the third, and this cigar has been fantastic. Okay, this is kind of hitting everything that we want in a cigar. Eric's he finished the first one. Now he's on to the next one. Smoked his a little bit faster. But we're going to be doing this. We're going to be doing kind of like a tasting while we
last week's episode.
Yeah, like last week's episode. So anyway, there's something
you wanted to talk about. Get off your chest.
Yeah, there's something I really want to talk about because I support this gentleman 100%. Okay. And I can probably speak for you and say that you support him as well. But he's gone viral on Instagram for his decision to not do sex scenes or kiss scenes in movies. Okay, you might have heard of this guy. His name is Neal McDonough. He was in Band of Brothers. I believe he was in Yellowstone.
Yep.
And he is...
I think he's in the Fast and the Furious or something.
He's actually in... I don't know. He might be. He's in Mall Cop. He's in the second Mall Cop. He plays the villain with two different eye colors. And there's a scene where he's like screaming at Kevin James, and they're going back and forth about who's crazier. And it's a funny scene. But shout out to this guy, Neal McDonough. He is a Christian man, a Christian actor that was blacklisted in Hollywood because he refused to do sex scenes.
Oh, Walking Tall. That's what he was in with The Rock.
Walking Tall. Yes, Walking Tall.
With The Rock.
So he refused to do sex scenes or kissing scenes in the films. And Hollywood, and I'm going to play the clip, but Hollywood basically said, like, no, you got to do this or you're fired. And he goes, no, I'm not going to do it. And they fired him. And he got blacklisted for 2 years until he got a shot in a new film that might be out by the time we do this called The Shift. And it's a Christian film produced by the same people that produced Sound of Freedom. Remember that film?
Yeah.
And he, oddly enough, plays the devil in this film. But it's a Christian film based on how society is run by the Antichrist, is run by the devil, and how corrupt and how terrible that society is. And there's one man who escapes it all by maintaining his faith in God. And it's based on the book of Job in the Bible, of people that aren't aware if you're not Christian or not. But this guy was blacklisted, and he posted this clip, and I'm going to play it really quick. And I support it, and I back it, and I think that it's beautiful. I think there should be more people like this and more people talking about this. But I'm going to play the clip for you, and hopefully we can hear it. So here it is.
That you have to do it or we're going to fire you. I'm like, well, I'm not going to do it. So they fired me. I was blackballed for 2 years. I couldn't get a job. And because of that, I lost my big, beautiful house in Los Angeles, my shiny Mercedes, all my stuff, and my swagger. And as you can imagine at the time, I was really crushed. They thought that I was some religious zealot, but to me, it was just that I didn't think it was the right thing to do. And also, I really love my wife. And as I've said, and I'll say it a million times, these lips are meant for one woman.
And he goes, there's the end of the clip, but he goes on and, and says, like, he kept his faith, and eventually God granted him with this new role. But it brings up a point of you got a lot of these people that say, oh, you have to do sex scenes, you have to do this. And I think about,
but do they do that? Do they really even do sex? I don't think that's a real thing.
have you seen Wolf of Wall Street?
I don't know if there's actual penetration.
No, there's no actual penetration, but let me ask you, how would you feel if you are watching a movie and you see your wife butt naked, rubbing up against another man, butt naked, making out, tongue down the throat, the whole nine? Wouldn't that make you feel uncomfortable?
Well, if you or your wife's an actress, yeah, you don't want to say it, but like, I get, he should never got blacklisted for not wanting to do it. That's first and foremost. But I also feel like if you're an actor or an actress, if you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. But if you do it, then that's what it is. But
no, but how would you feel? How would you feel you're watching a movie and you see your wife like putting her tongue down some other man's throat?
Well, yeah, obviously I wouldn't like that.
Exactly. I wouldn't like it either. So I wouldn't do that to her. And and they go, oh, well, it's just acting. I said, yeah, but it doesn't matter. So what if you were to say, oh, I was, I slept with another woman, and technically it's cheating? No, honey, I was pretending. I was acting. I didn't mean it. I was playing around.
Yeah.
Just because the camera's on, just because you're filming a movie, it's okay.
Yeah. Well, there's a fine line. If you're actually cheating, that there's an actual reason. You're actually betraying your significant other. But if you're in a movie, it's a part of the movie. It's either you want to do it or you don't. And whoever you're with either accepts it or they don't. But I feel like going into that relationship, whether it's a guy or a girl, if they're an actor or an actress, it's like a part of doing it. Now, for me, like I don't think it's that bad. If I'm your wife or if you're my husband, and you're already an actor or an actress, like, I kind of understand, like, yeah, there's going to be kissing scenes. There's probably going to be some, depends on what kind of movies you do. Not everyone does it.
Well, let me ask you this then.
Yeah.
Let me take it one step further. Would you date a porn star?
No.
It's acting.
Yeah, I guess, but no,
that's the same thing.
No. Porn and acting.
It's the same thing.
No.
It's acting. They're not actually making love.
Porn is.
You think that she's having an orgasm 17 times in one scene?
Porn is actual sex recorded.
It's acting though.
But movies, I can't say all the time 100%, but most of the time they're not actually having sex. Yeah,
but it's pretty damn. It's not penetration, but like,
I get it.
I know they had back in the old days, they wear like the whatever they call it, like the sex underwear, and they put a cup on or whatever. But there's some scenes that you can't fake that. Wolf of Wall Street, the guy's butt ass naked, laying on top of the girl on a stack of money. She's butt naked. Yeah. So is he.
Well, that also goes like, if that's your wife, then you know what she's doing.
Or there's another scene. I forgot the movie, but the scene with Woody Harrelson and Amanda, what's her name, Alexandra Daddario, where he's sitting on a couch and she gets butt naked and straddles him, tits in his face and the whole nine.
Which girl? Who?
Alexandra Daddario. Forgot what the movie is, but it's Woody Harrelson. He's sitting on a couch.
Oh yeah. She's from Baywatch.
Yeah, she gets butt naked.
She's a babe. Yeah.
Butt naked. Tits in his face and the whole nine. They're making out.
Well, that also goes to if you're married and that's a decision between you and your husband or wife saying, hey, I'm in this movie and they want me to do this. Then you make a decision. Yeah, do it, or yeah, don't do it.
I think that.
So hold on. I Googled how do they shoot sex scenes. So it says 10 things you probably didn't know about how sex scenes are filmed. Film tricks make it look like actors are having sex when they actually space far apart. No matter how realistic a sex scene looks, there are always movie magic used to create an illusion, according to whatever this word is. The combination of choreography, camera angles, and modesty garments and props make the scene look real. So I don't agree. If they say, hey, you got to do this sex scene, or you want to do this, you have to do this intense makeout scene, and you don't feel comfortable with it, then I also feel like that's also on the director not knowing his actors. Like, if you know this man is very religious or is one way about his wife not moving, then you should have casted the person in the first place.
True, but I don't think that the guy, like, I think having moral standards or having morals and values of the sacred covenant of marriage, saying I'm only meant for one woman. Yeah. I don't care if the cameras are on or not. I'm only kissing one woman, and that's that.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do it, and then being blacklisted for it. I don't think that's right. I think that we should have more people in this world that have those morals and have those values, right? Because nowadays, a lot of people, they don't see marriage as
I like this. This is nice.
They don't see marriage as like a sacred covenant.
I'm kind of liking this one more.
You do?
It's a little more flavorful.
Well, I haven't smoked it yet.
I know, but I'm just giving you my first initial reaction.
But I don't think that today's society almost devalues marriage.
Yeah.
Right? People get married, like nobody stays together for how often do you see somebody stay together for 50 plus years?
No.
You know? I mean, granted, we're not old enough to be married for 50 years, but you see a lot of people, like, they get married 5 years later, divorce. On to the
Yeah, what's the average divorce rate in America?
And it's like, no, because people are just saying, oh, if I can always just out with the old, in with the new. I can always just do it's not. No, it's one woman for the rest of your life. What does it say? What's the average marriage?
According to American Psychological Association, approximately 40 or 50% of first marriages end divorce. The divorce rate for second marriage is even higher at 60 to 67% of second marriage, and that's from the divorce statistic of 2022.
What does it say the typical length of a marriage?
I didn't Google that one.
I'm gonna look that up.
But like again,
average length.
But I think it also goes based on the actor and their decisions. If you want to be an actor and actress, if you don't feel comfortable with shooting those scenes, and then that should be a part of your, being a part of who you are as an actor. So when you're casted in these movies, these directors know that, hey, he's going to shoot this scene or he's not going to shoot this scene, so we're not going to have him in this movie. Also,
you want to hear it?
Yeah, what's up?
It says, how long does the average marriage last in 2023? United States, 8 years.
Damn.
8 years.
Damn. Well, I've been together with Marissa more than the average.
Yeah, we're coming up on our 8th year together.
Yeah.
I mean, married for a little over a year, but like...
It'll be 10 years in February together.
But that's what I'm saying. It says people don't appreciate the value of marriage. They don't appreciate what marriage actually stands for. Right? How many people do you see now that, I have an open relationship? I'm married to my wife, but I have an open marriage.
Yeah,
that's not marriage.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Marriage is monogamy. One woman, that's it.
Yeah, for sure.
No, we're married, but we can sleep with other people. That's not marriage.
No, it's definitely not.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like people make it so like it's okay. I go, no, that's not okay. And when you have somebody like this that says, no, I hold the sacred sacrament of marriage. I hold that high. That is 100%. I am not kissing any other woman. I'm not pretending to be with any other. I'm with this woman, and that's that. And he goes, oh, you can't be in any movies. Blacklist you. That doesn't. Okay, maybe he can't be in that movie. Or do you really need a sex scene? Do sex scenes really like extend the plot of a movie? No, they put a sex scene because people want to see sex. That's why they put him in a freaking movie. Does it extend the plot at all? Does it enhance the plot? No. But sex sells and people want to see it.
Yeah, it's like a little extra oomph. But just going back to what we're discussing here, like, no, I don't think he should be blacklisted. But if you are an actor or an actress and you're getting married, one, it should be discussed. But two, like I keep saying, if you're an actor or an actress and you don't feel comfortable doing these type of scenes, then that should be something that's a part of your bio as being an actor or an actress. So when you get casted for a movie and there's these scenes that are already implemented in going into it, they know, well, what's his name? Neal?
His name is Neal McDonough.
All right, so Neal doesn't feel comfortable kissing another person or having a sex scene, so we can't cast him for this role, or in so fact that we just change the scene and we don't include that. But
I think the point is that he's blacklisted where nobody's going to give him a shot for any movie because they're like, no, you're this religious, you're a religious freak who doesn't want to do sex scenes, so we're not going to even give you a shot anymore. And he goes, well, no, because I'm still a great actor and I can still play this role. I don't need to be in a sex scene.
100%.
And that's I support his decision 100%, and I think that there should be more people that are like that.
There should be.
I feel like...
And it shouldn't be, it shouldn't be this big deal like that he doesn't want to do it. It should be like, all right, you don't want to do it? Either we don't have the scene or we don't cast it for the movie.
Or I should be like, oh, you don't want to do that? That's very honorable of you. That's very nice of you. That's kind of you and courteous of you to your wife. That you don't want your wife seeing you dry humping some other woman butt naked on screen.
Yeah, but directors or whoever is in charge of movies, they don't look at that. They just look at, this is what I want in my movie, and this is what's going to happen. They don't care about your relationship.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate that that's the way Hollywood. I mean, my wife and I have always said that the devil walks the streets in L.A. because have you ever been over there? I haven't been over there, but she's been over there, and a lot of our friends have been over there, and they said that you just feel like the evilness over there.
I'm sure you do.
Because of how, people, it's almost like you got to sell your soul if you want to become famous over there.
Well, that's what they say. A lot of people in the industry and entertainment, that's what they do. They sell their soul to get the fortunes and fame.
Yeah. You ever see The Fall of House of Usher? Have you seen that yet?
The Fall
of the House of Usher.
Like Usher Raymond the singer?
No.
Oh,
So it's a show on Netflix. It's called The Fall of House of Usher, and it's about a multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical family. Okay? It's a dad, his sister, or a guy and his wife, and his 6 kids, and the guy's sister. And the guy and his sister are like the head. He's the head honcho. His sister's like the right-hand woman, and then he's got his 6 kids. And it's about how corrupt this pharmaceutical family is.
This is a real story?
It's not a real story. It's loosely based. I mean, when you watch it, you'll be like, yeah, this is pretty much how pharmaceutical companies work.
I'm sure it's not far off. Yeah.
Okay? But it talks about, and I don't want to give away the whole thing, but it's about like how somebody sells their soul and how they give you everything that you ever want. Like the devil will give you everything that you ever wanted, but then he takes away shit that is closest to you, and it's wild. It's a really good show, and I don't want to give the whole thing away, but it's how corrupt the pharmaceutical industry is, and like how shit just starts going down.
Yeah.
It's wild, but I mean, coming from 2 Christian men, I mean, I believe that the devil definitely does that, and comes to you and tries to tempt you and gives you all these, opportunities and promises, and then some people take it to get to where they are, and then all of a sudden they die at 40. Right? So, I'm going to give you everything that you ever wanted, and you get always rise to the top as fast. You'll be higher than any person in your entire family. But then guess what? As soon as you get it all, I'm going to kill you at 40.
Yeah.
Kind of wild.
It's not far off. I believe it. But to go back to our original statement here, I think it all comes down to your decision. I don't think you.
So where do you draw the line then? Where's the line between? Is it like dick going in that's a big concern, or
actual penetration?
So like here's a good scenario. A woman is an actress and she's done a sex scene, right?
Yeah.
But she's single,
right?
She's not married to anybody. She's single, does a sex scene. Meets somebody, falls in love, they get married. Okay. As the guy, I'd be like, okay, I didn't love you at the time that you did the sex scene. You were totally single. There was no sacred bond of marriage. It's totally fine. Now we're married and there's no more sex scenes. Like, marriage means one woman, one man for the rest of your life, and that's that. That I think is fine because it's like, looking back on a picture of like, Marissa making out with her ex-boyfriend. It's like, well, I didn't know you at that time.
Yeah.
And we weren't married, right?
Everyone
but now we're married. So
Everyone
it's like from this point forward, there's no more of that. Like if this point forward you were to go make out with somebody else, that's cheating. I don't care that the camera's on.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it's cheating, my opinion, but I wouldn't be okay with it. I wouldn't like it. I would be very upset and I wouldn't want it.
Well, that's why I thought it would be a great conversation because when I posted, I'm like, you know what, I like that he's like, no, I don't care what Hollywood says. This is being
like who has a good marriage in Hollywood, and they've definitely done
Will Smith and Jada Pinkett.
Hell no, that is hell no, hell to the nah, I don't know. Who has a good marriage?
I don't know. It's
let's say married.
No, it's like it's interesting when you have that discussion. Like not many people have this discussion.
Married.
Everybody wants to say, "Oh, I'm Christian," but then they're like, "Oh, you know what? It's okay. I can go sleep around. It's fine." No, that's not being Christian. Like,
yeah. Let's see here. Oh, like what's his face? Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively.
Right.
They're a happy couple. They definitely have done scenes like that.
Are they Christian?
I don't know. But it's Hollywood, bro. There's not, even if they are, that's the thing. Even if like that all that religious stuff and the Hollywood scene is one way. So if you don't flow into that way, then that's what happens to this guy like Neal.
Right, and that shouldn't be.
So that's your decision of saying, all right, I'm willing to sacrifice my beliefs to get further in life in this career path, or I'm going to stick with what I believe in, and it either will hurt or not hurt me. And
I feel like that's what Hollywood wants, is they want
but it's also
you to just disregard your beliefs. And
it's also kind of easy for us because we don't really aspire to be actors, and we've never been in a situation like, I don't aspire to be an actor, so it's easy for me and you to say like, no, that's what I wouldn't want to do.
If you're asking me, I support that decision. Like, just because the camera's on and just because I'm acting, I don't think that matters. Like, okay, so a porn star, she's saying that she's acting. She's an adult film actress.
I feel like comparing porno to cinema is like apples and oranges.
No, but I'm just saying, okay, we're going back to, all right, who's the entity that is creating these movies? It's Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
The Hollywood film industry is creating these movies, and they don't care. They're like, we're doing a sex scene, that's it. That's the rules. We don't care. It's acting. If you were to ask the Hollywood people, that's what they would say. I don't care that you're religious. It's acting, okay? You go and ask the adult film industry. They're like, no, this is not sex. This is acting, right? If you were to ask that industry, that all those stars would say we are actresses in the adult film world.
No, I don't think they might be sex actresses.
But they're saying that they're faking 100%. It's acting, and they're doing a scene. It's acting.
But the premise of porn is sex. It's strictly sex.
I know. I understand that.
So
I'm just telling you, like, this is, if you were to go and ask that,
I wouldn't consider that acting.
They do.
You can. Well, that's they. They consider it acting because they can't aspire to be real actors. But the premise of porno is just sex. So essentially, you could be acting because you got to do a little acting before you get into the meat and potatoes of the sex scene, but not acting. You're just there to have sex on camera, and you have to put on a little bit of show to make it somewhat entertaining.
I know. My point was that if you were to ask the entity that's filming this, they are going to say these are actors and actresses, right? And you could come say like, no, that's not acting, that's sex. And they go, no, this is acting. It's a different type of... They would say it's the same thing as if you were having an argument with someone and it's not a real argument. You're acting out the argument. They would say these two are having sex. They're not really having sex. They're acting to make it look like they're, they're the physical act, but this is not what real sex is. They're just acting it out. That's the argument they would make. And I'm like, no. This is still... So if you were to go in a movie and I'm saying, like, I don't want to do that sex scene because I have a bond with my wife and I'm not kissing another woman. They go, no, it's not really kissing. You're like acting it out. You don't actually mean it. No, but I'm still doing it. That's my argument.
I think again, it just comes down to one thing: your decision on what you want to do. It's like I support the guy. Like, good for him, sticking up for what he believes in. But
I think that it's wrong of Hollywood to blacklist anybody for having.
Is Hollywood really going to do the right thing at the end of the day? So
you're blacklisting something for having morals. That just sounds like a very wrong thing to do.
Well, Hollywood's a very dark industry,
right?
So I'm not really surprised by it, to be all honest. Since the time of cinema, it's always been a dark industry. All this crazy news come out. Guys taking advantage of women to get them parts. It's all corrupt and bad.
Do you think that where are we at? Almost 30 minutes. We could probably wrap it up, but
I don't want to wrap it up. No pun intended.
Do you think that in today's...
Why don't we come up with more topics like this?
This is good.
I like it.
It's a good conversation. Do you think that in today's world, like today's society, it's almost frowned upon to be religious?
Frowned upon? No.
Like by the mainstream, entity, by all those.
Because if according to mainstream standards, if you're religious, you're like a psycho. You're a radical person.
Is that weird?
Yeah, it is weird.
Is that really strange? It's like nowadays. Like as soon as you tell somebody like, "Oh, I'm Christian, I believe in God," like, what are you, some religious freak?
Yeah, it's kind of like talking about politics. It's a weird conversation. Or it
it's
really
the
shouldn't.
It's the same thing where it's I read something. I gotta see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it quick.
That's why the old saying is don't talk about religion and politics at the dinner table, because it's a weird, touchy subject because some people get weirded out by it.
So this is one. It says like, eat steak and eggs for breakfast and you're a weirdo, but drink 46 grams of sugar in a Starbucks Frappuccino and you're normal. Make it make sense.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's like you do, if you're like, oh, I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to work out every single day, I'm running every single day, and I'm not going to eat any sugar, and I'm going to drink lots of water. People are like, what are you, some health freak? But then you have the guys that are like, oh, I'm going to have a freaking McDonald's sandwich for breakfast every day, and I'm just going to sit and eat potato chips and watch Netflix. They go, oh, no, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, the things that you should be doing have become weird, and the things that you shouldn't be doing are just
I
normal.
think it's also everything's more in your face and magnetized. That's a word, magnified. It's because
amplified, maybe
amplified or magnified even, just because of all the different screens that you have 24/7. So if you see one topic over and over again on your phone or on the TV, you start to believing that that's your reality around you. Like I bring my most of the time I always bring lunch to work. I always make my own lunch, and I kind of feel like that's even weird for people because it's like you make lunch every day. I'm like,
right, but that's what I'm saying. They're normalizing things that shouldn't be normalized. Like here's another perfect example where it says, start a business, $999. Oh, that's way too much. Buy a new iPhone, $999. Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
Healthy groceries, $100. It's way too much. Dinner and drinks, $100. No problem. Watch Netflix, 2 hours. One more episode. Come on, we could do it. Learn a new skill, 2 hours. I don't have enough time.
Yeah.
It's like life. It says life is about choices. Stop blaming the quote unquote lack of opportunity.
Exactly. Life is about choices. The whole premise of this conversation. Life is about choices and decisions.
And I think that their society nowadays is normalizing poor choices, saying no, that's fine. You should be doing that. Eat sugar all day. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Don't actually. You don't need to exercise. Just consume TV all day long. That's great. That's normal. That's what's being a normal person. But it's like somebody that says, no, I don't want to do that. I want to eat healthy. I want to read, and I want to exercise every day. No, dude, you're a nut. You're a psycho.
I think it's just it comes to the point of what, just being complacent or what's easy. It's easy just to sit on your iPad all day and just get consumed as opposed to reading a book and trying to learn something or, I don't know, talking to somebody else in the car. It's funny. I think I might have seen a video. It was like, I don't know if this really has to do with what we're talking about, but it kind of does. It was like this guy was making like a funny video, and he was like, kids nowadays being entertained in the car, like looking at the iPad, and he's like, and he's like, me being entertained when I was a kid, watching my favorite raindrop losing the race.
You sent that to me.
Yeah. I'm like, well, that's true. Like,
no, yeah. It's kind of, it's also reminds me of one of our favorite books, Outwitting the Devil.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard that. Outwitting the Devil, where it talks about what does the devil want to do? The devil wants to distract you and make you a drifter, right? So all these things that we're saying are normalized now, eating like shit, not working out, just consuming. These are all things that make you a drifter, and that's what the devil wants. The devil wants to make you a drifter. They don't want you to amount to anything.
I just think of one word: effort. It takes a little bit of effort to eat healthier. It takes a little bit of effort to go work out. It takes a little bit of effort to strike up a conversation with a random person or even a person in your family or friend. It takes effort to start something new. All comes down to effort.
People don't want to put in the effort.
No, they do not. They do not.
This was a good conversation, dude.
It's great. Great conversation. I'm glad we did it.
I love it.
It's a little more serious. I wouldn't say serious, but
no, it's just I saw the video and I'm like, this would be a good topic to talk about. But yeah, I feel like we're both on the same page here. It's sticking up for what you believe in, right? If you have a set of beliefs, you have a set of morals, you have a set of standards. Another thing, having high standards, right? There's nothing wrong with having high standards. Everybody always says like, "Oh, dude, you're too serious about things." No, I have high standards, okay? And if you don't want to have the same standards, if you don't want to come up to my level, then stay down where you are, okay? I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody, but it's like, no, there's certain standards that I live by, and I choose to live by these standards. And if you don't want to live by these standards, that's fine. But don't make me feel like that I'm a piece of shit because I want to live by high standards.
Yeah, you don't want to make me feel like an outcast because I think or want something differently.
Right. Just because I want more in life, don't make me feel bad.
Yeah.
right? Just because you don't want those same things.
Yeah, it's like when if you start up a business and they're like, don't do that. It's so much work. It's gonna take so much time for you. You're not gonna you're making no money for years. Why would you waste your time doing that? It's like, well, I want to do that. So why are you trying to? Why don't you encourage me?
Because people are trying to like bring you down. It's like, no, why don't you try to bring yourself up?
Yeah, or don't share your opinion with me.
Well, that's what I hate. Is like whenever you they always talk about don't tell big dreams to small-minded people because they're only going to try to bring you down. It's like, no, why would you do that? Like it just shut up. Like you don't have to have the same dreams, but don't try to bring me down and make me feel like I'm an outcast because I have big dreams.
Yeah, it's like anytime anything exciting happens, we get a new guest, we get something news about a cigar or and I send it to people and they're like, the reaction isn't as exciting as I am, and I'm like, all right,
yeah,
I won't say it anymore to you.
And then they're going to be like, well, you never tell me anything.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I do, but every time I tell you something, you just bring me down a peg. It's like, no. Come on up, man. The air's better up here.
Air's nice and crisp. Crispy clean.
But anyway, I think that's going to do it for us.
Let's smoke this other blend.
Yeah, so that's going to do it for us on this. If you enjoyed this conversation, if you have any comments of your own, drop them in the section below in the comment section. If you like this episode, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and check out our website. Check out the blueprint, check out our merch, all of our stuff. But that's going to do it, Eric.
Cheers, chin chin, salud. Thank you guys and gals for watching. See you on the next one.